Hopefully now you have a better grasp of checking accounts and what you do with checking accounts. Now remember, there are four things you can do with money. You can earn it, you can spend it, you can save it, and you can give it. Now, most of the earning, spending, and giving are done out of that checking account. It's the main place where your money is coming and going. But the saving of money can take place in a separate kind of account, which is a savings account. Now, I want to talk about savings for just a few minutes, all right? We've already said that it is important to prepare for large expenses that might be coming down the road, and it's important to prepare for the unexpected. So I want to divide savings now, the concept of savings, into three different buckets, all right? And two of those buckets can take place in a savings account at your bank. The first of those is an emergency fund. Unfortunately, things in life break. Health issues come up. Things don't go the way that we want them to go. And so we cannot plan for all the expenses in our lives because we don't know what's coming. So an emergency fund is there for just that, for the unexpected in life. Now, if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey, he likes to start off by encouraging folks to try and save up $1,000 as a starting point for an emergency fund. Now, that may be really hard to do, but if you can put a little bit of money out of every paycheck and transfer it over into a savings account, or maybe even set it up so that maybe a portion of your money automatically goes into your savings account so that you don't even have to think about it or do it. You can set up what are called automatic transfers. That makes it a lot easier to save. Then you can build up an emergency fund that can be there when something happens. You may have your air conditioner to go out and you've got $200 repair that has to be done. Well, you might not have planned for that. So you could pull that money out of your emergency fund and then pay yourself back, try to get it back up to $1,000. So an emergency fund is what we would call the short-term savings component. I said there's three buckets to savings: short-term, medium-term, and long-term, and the emergency fund would be short-term. And a savings account is a great place to put that, all right? It might also be that you want to save for things in the future. Let's say a vacation. You want to take an overnight trip down to Memphis, let's say. Then you could have a portion of your savings account set aside for your trip. So you've got your emergency fund of $1,000, and then you are going to save, let's say, $500 for an overnight getaway to Memphis. Then you could also put that in your savings account. The savings account is a great place for your short-term needs. So if the vacation is just 6 months away, then that would be considered short-term, all right? Now, there are some things that might be medium-term needs. You might want to be saving for a car. You might want to be saving for a large purchase. And there are other places that you can put those savings. You could put those in what is called a CD, all right? That stands for certificate of deposit. And the difference between that and a savings account is a certificate of deposit is locked up for a period of time. You can't withdraw it without a penalty, but it earns a high rate of interest, all right? Savings accounts earn a little interest, but not much. What interest is it's the bank paying you for the use of your money. So if your savings account earns, let's say, 1%, right now there are some CDs out there that are earning 4, maybe even 5%. So you can make a whole lot more on a CD. So let's say you've saved up $1,000 for a future piece of furniture that you want to buy, but you want to save more, and you want to put that away and not buy the furniture for another year or so. All right, you could put it in a certificate of deposit, and you could put it in a CD for a year's time. And let's say you'll earn 4% for that year's time, where you can't touch it, you can't get to it without a penalty, but it pushes it out a little further to what we might call that medium-term savings, which I would say is 1 to 5 years. That's probably the time frame for a medium-term savings account. And a CD is a great place for money that you don't think you're going to need between the next 1 to 5 years. All right, so we've talked about the short-term bucket, which is the savings account. We've talked about the medium-term bucket, one that you can use, which is a CD or certificate of deposit. Let's talk about the long-term. All right, the long-term is called a IRA. That is an individual retirement account. Now, an IRA is going to be something for way down the road whenever you're over the age of 59 and a half. That is the age when you can access an IRA. Until then, you would be penalized if you put money in an IRA. So if you're saving for a car, you don't want to put it in an IRA. It's not what it's for. If you're saving for a piece of furniture, you don't want to put it in an IRA because that's not what it's for. It's for long-term savings, actually retirement savings. So you can put money into an individual retirement account and you get a tax benefit for doing it. I don't want to go too deep into what that tax benefit is, but there is one kind of IRA that actually allows you to put money in it and it grows completely tax-free. I just said the word tax-free. That's not something that you hear every day, but an individual retirement account called a Roth IRA will allow your money to grow tax-free. So if it's earning a stated interest rate, it will do that tax-free. You can also invest it into stocks or mutual funds or other instruments that might, if the economy does well, grow even more than what a stated interest rate of 4% might do. So that's a long-term way that you can put money aside. So the concept here is we're trying to save. What kind of bank account can we use to save? It depends on what you're saving for, right? So again, we'll go back to short term. That's for your basic bank savings account. If it's medium term, a CD might be a good solution at the bank. And if it's long term, it might be an individual retirement account. So I hope this information on the different kinds of savings accounts has been helpful for you.